If you're smart and successful, but you're also a nice girl or a nice guy, here's the reason why being nice is not really working out for you in relationships. The reason is that people love you for what you do, but not for who you are, which is kind of ironic because you do a lot of things for other people. You bend over backwards for them. You put your own needs out of the way to support other people, thinking that that is going to be reciprocated. But what ends up happening instead is that people just take advantage of it. And we unfortunately live in a world where people are more selfish than we would like to believe. So how do you create the healthy boundaries and communicate things in such a way to where you can still be yourself and also have your needs met in these relationships? Here's the one thing to remember. Healthy boundaries create healthy relationships. When we think about establishing boundaries, we think it's going to cause confrontation or it's going to repel people from liking us. And the reality is that while it might repel some, what actually happens is people respect you more for having those boundaries. The trick is being able to communicate that in a way that allows people to respect them instead of being angry at you for them. I'm going to show you how you can set these healthy boundaries so that people respect you more, not less, and you don't have to feel guilty. Now, everything I'm going to tell you is going to be an excerpt from this book called Attracting Authentic Relationships. Now, step number 1 is really all about you've got to be able to understand what are the lines you are no longer willing to tolerate. This can be a little tricky because sometimes people are like, you know what? I am not putting up with this anymore. And then they start setting all kinds of boundaries and it's very harsh and rigid. But what I would recommend is you write down what are your biggest purpose or goals in your life and make sure that everything that's around it are things that you are not going to let distract you. Those are boundaries. Also, things that you may really value. So here's an example. For me, I truly value my time. So if somebody makes plans with me, but then is constantly flaking on me, that is not somebody that I'm going to continue to make plans with because I value time. I value honesty. So if somebody's not telling me what they really think or what they really feel, that's probably not going to be a person that I get extremely close with, especially as, let's say, for a life partner. So these are some of the boundaries that I have. Now, this is going to take a little bit of work. I'm actually doing a free 15-minute consultation to help people find what is that you really value and how to articulate it, something that's coming free, again, at the time of this video for those that get the book. So that's step number 1. Write down what your purpose and values are. It's the only way to start knowing where to set those boundaries. Now, step number 2, we have to communicate those boundaries. And so to communicate this well, you frame that conversation by saying, I would like to talk to you about insert the things that's frustrating you. And I would love for at the end of this conversation that we end up with your desired outcome. So for example, you might say, hey, I'd like to have a conversation with you about household chores because we live together and I'd love to do it in a way where we come to an agreement where neither of us feel overwhelmed, but supported for what needs to be done around the house. All right, that's a great way to frame a conversation that's not only going to help establish some of your boundaries and communicate where you need support, but make it more collaborative with somebody. And if you are looking for a free guide that allows you to take advantage of everything we talk about in this video, you can click the link. Get the free guide. It's really going to allow you to communicate things in a way to set these healthy boundaries. Now, I do feel like I must warn you that even when you start setting these boundaries, the reality is that some people will not like it. And that's hard to hear, but I promise you that the people that are not going to be as attracted were never your people to begin with. They only liked you for what you did for them. And these boundaries are limiting that. What you want to attract anyway are the people that love you for you. And when you establish those boundaries, it's going to be easier to identify who your people really are. So you both come to an agreement, which is a pact that you make with somebody. Which, by the way, pact is the framework for this discussion, which stands with purpose, authenticity, communication, which we just talked about. And the last element is trust. When you're able to come to that agreement, which is the third step, and you can transition to that agreement and say, well, how do you feel about X solution? And that's how you transition to having having a conversation about how do we solve this problem together. And if the other person eventually comes around to that agreement, if you do it in this way, they're going to come to that agreement with you without being super defensive. And they're going to be able to respect the fact that you were able to communicate something that frustrated you, something that you wanted to establish a boundary around. And that, instead of the fear of these boundaries separating the connection from you and the other person, it actually uplifts it and strengthens it. So again, if this is something that resonates with you, this is from the book, Attracting Authentic Relationships. You can download the free PDF that's going to help you to navigate how to have these tough conversations. Get the book, and I'm happy to talk about it with you. If you would like to learn more about how you can be more supported in your relationships through boundaries and communication skills, continue to like and follow and subscribe.